1140 The Fan.
Talkin Money!
And the action continues on Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Right. How are you? Our final segment of the day. We start at 9 o'clock. We expect you here at 8:59. If you're here at 9, you're already late. You're just tuning in now. You can sign up for this show on podcast if you want it. We send it out every Monday. You can email me, Jeff, at jefftarbell.com, or go to jefftarbell.com. There's a site there you can pick up the podcast. We don't put it out right on the internet because I would have to go pull all the music out of it, and it would just be a big pain. So we'll just send it to you if you want it. We did get a quiz winner. Women account for 85% of all consumer purchases of this product. It is not lingerie. It is not skinny jeans. It is not jewelry. It's not Victoria's Secret. It's not men's underwear, Russell, you sinner. It is shoes. Women buy 85% of all the shoes in the world, and I believe that half of them are in my closet. Now, actually, my wife's not a huge shoe person, but I might have more shoes than she does. So we got Marianne got that right, so we'll get her out some whatever she wanted. Chris, you ready for the this is, by the way, I got this off of the Blue Water Credit News, so Jeff Sipes and the guys up in Roseville sent this out to me. I thought good information on here. Chris, you ready to go?
Nope.
Four questions. Number one, Chris, who shops online more frequently, men or women?
Women.
Ding! That's right. True or false? People with children are more likely to shop online than people without children.
True.
Number two. Number three, who conducts more business transactions on a daily basis? The New York Stock Exchange, eBay, NASDAQ, or Amazon.com? That's a hard one.
New York Stock Exchange.
eBay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I almost went with that.
You're 2-1. And last one. What method of payment do people use most when buying online? Check, credit card, PayPal, or Western Union?
Credit card.
PayPal.
Ooh.
That's why PayPal is so valuable. So PayPal. So you're 2 for 2. I expect a little better out of you next time, please. A little more effort. Okay, that's good. We'll wrap that up. Hey, Chris, can you scroll back down a little bit? There was an attorney that sent me some information. Yeah, just pull that up there for a minute if you would. There we go. Right there. Perfect. So this was back to our caller earlier. Had a foreclosure of his investment property. And keep in mind, I said investment properties and primary residences are treated much differently. This is from Chris, who's a bankruptcy collection agency lawyer. I'm going to guess he knows what he's talking about. Hey, Jeff, when the first lender forecloses, the second lien is wiped out, but the personal obligation of the borrower on the note continues, and here's the big, assuming the second mortgage was not part of a purchase money transaction. So do you understand what that means? If you bought the house, maybe did like an 80-20, highly unlikely on an investment property, but if you bought the house and a first and a second were used to purchase the investment property, they have no way to come back after you for anything else. Okay? We're going to assume in this case, I think the gentleman's name was Bond. We'll assume he got the second down the road somewhere. And the second was, in fact, wiped out, which basically means, yes, the lien is gone, but they still hold the note or the personal obligation of Bond to pay on the note. So if that's accurate, and I believe that it is, Chris, I thank you for doing that, then you need to go see someone like Chris, because the bankruptcy attorneys, a lot of times I always recommend to people, if you're going to go through a foreclosure, if you're going to go through something like that, check out an attorney, find out what lingering obligations are going to follow you along. And maybe, you need to do a bankruptcy or some sort of reorganization at the same time, because maybe it's not just the house that's causing you the problem. Maybe it's, loss of some work and accumulated debt and the house. And if you're going to go through the process of having your life turned upside down and shaken out by the bootstrings there, then you might want to look at getting rid of all of the problems you've got. And I'm not advocating you just walk out and get rid of your debts and don't pay them, but I'm saying be realistic. You're going to go through a credit turmoil. It's going to destroy your credit for some period of time. And so do it right. I mean, whatever needs to be done, get professional advice and do it at one time. And that might mean going through a bankruptcy at the same time. And it might not. So I think it's worth checking out. Off the text line from the 209, hey, Jeff, I signed my papers at escrow on September 18th, and I still do not have my keys. I'm guessing this is a purchase transaction. I got to think you meant November 18th. Even November 18th would be. I mean, if you sign escrow papers on September 18th and you don't have your paperwork yet, something is dramatically wrong. You're probably dealing with Bank of America. They've had a lot of trouble lately with in the process of reorganizing themselves and in part getting out of the mortgage business on some ends of things. So that might be what you're talking about. I mean, I've never, usually you don't have paperwork go to escrow unless your loan's approved. And if it's approved, then there shouldn't be a lot of conditions left to worry about. So I'm hoping you meant November 18th, which would still be a couple weeks ago, which still sounds weird. But if it's September 18th, something is wrong. And you need to either track down your escrow agent or your lender or your realtor or all three and ask him what the heck is going on. But that is highly unusual if it's September 18th, and even if it was November 18th. So I hope that helps you a little bit there. I did mention a couple things, and since we're on the topic of the gentleman who had the foreclosure, expiring at the end of 2012, so you have in effect basically a year and a month. Senate Bill 401 is the Mortgage Debt Relief Act of 2007, obviously written for 5 years. Generally allows taxpayers to exclude income from the discharge of their debt on their principal residence, not investment property, debt reduced through mortgage restructuring, as well as debt forgiveness. And this, like foreclosure such as this, expires in basically a year from now. What does that mean to you? It means that you have basically 1 year left to make a decision on what you're going to do on your primary residence. If you are one of those people that's on the fence about, should I short sell it? Should I stick with it? And then hopefully this HARP program that is just now starting to kind of release itself, maybe that'll help some of you kind of get that debt payment down. That might help you a little bit. But you've got a year, because there's nothing more rude in the world than losing your house and then getting a tax bill on top of it for debt relief, and you having to write a check for that money. That is a stab in the eye after you've been stabbed in your other eye, and that is just not fun. So we'll talk about that more next week. There's a lot of things that are expiring at the end of this year and next, and as we start creeping in on the next couple shows, we will cover some of those items that are coming up. Boy, I didn't even get to all of the real estate news here. What was I doing for the whole hour? This whole Christopher Laud 20-minute show is just killing us here. So that's it. That music means it's time to wrap it up. I got 1 minute. I didn't even get to the part. You could be an NHL player for a day. Did you know that, Chris? You did? Okay, we'll talk about that next week as well. If you want to get the show on podcast, or you tuned in later, you missed something that came out of my mouth that was genius, for God's sake, please tell me what it was, because I don't know what it was. You can email me, jeff@jefftarbell.com. We'll put you on our podcast list, which comes out weekly. You can find me on Facebook, and you can find me at jefftarbell.com. That is it, folks. Another week, another Saturday of broadcast mediocrity. Just gone by like that. 30 seconds left. This is. I'm always like 30 seconds. I come up 30 seconds short. You know how that goes, Chris? We should do the Christopher Laud 30 seconds at the end of the show, when I can't go into another whole other topic and I got to just sit here and fill for 30 seconds. That's it. Hey, I appreciate you listening. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a great, great holiday. Be safe out there. I know a lot of parties going on, and we'll catch up with you next Saturday live right here on The Fan, 1140. My name is Jeff Tarbell. We'll see you. Aloha.